Hey there, and welcome back to another development vlog of the things I've been working on this week. I've already got some things ready on my docket for this week. One of those is to start up modeling on a new store, and some props on older stores. Then I want to reiterate on the art in a minigame that I call Cards and Coasters, and work on some promotional content here and there. Oh, and the most important thing of this week that I need to do is that I'm moving into a new apartment this week, so we're going to be doing that. This store's new locale is on the beach with a road nearby. Compared to the urban store, the road isn't going to be as busy. I think my favorite detail that I'm looking forward to with this store is to have an ocean ambience that fades in and out. Something really relaxing. There's also something I want to address with the pipeline for my stores. Right now, my pipeline is to model and swap between Maya and Unity to see how polygonal models turn out from a distance, or to make sure that things aren't too smooth and too high poly. Then the bulk of the time is spent on texturing with Photoshop, re-exporting from Maya, and tweaking the lighting in Unity. Working on colors without any reference is always difficult for me. It's as if I have an idea of the colors in my head, but I can't quite get to that goal. It's almost always off. Working on the octopus side project made something click with me, that I should probably just create a color palette beforehand in Photoshop with lots of blending and reference images. While that would help, the pipeline would still force me to keep tweaking the colors in Photoshop and Maya after the lighting step, and it's very back and forth. And if I recolor one swatch, it would affect all the geometry that uses that color, so it's usually more of a compromise at the end, which I don't really like too much. It's looking like the store's production pipeline will stick to being a tedious task for me. At least it would have, until I learned about a high-tier Maya tip from one of the Monument Valley 2's artists, Danette. It's easily the most relieving feature and annoying, since getting to the UI just feels so awkward. I never knew you could just sample an image from a color, then use the vertex painter for coloring. Then, in Unity, I can rework the store's shaders to get colors from vertex colors, instead of a texture lookup. The payoff for this will let me drop Photoshop and UV, allow changing for colors of one part while retaining colors on other parts, and an overall improvement in performance, since I'll be dropping a texture lookup in a shader. If this pipeline winds up being as efficient and speedy as I think it'll be quicker to add stores and updates. Plus, trying to add in a new theme store with the release of other games would be a fun idea to explore. With the big move being 2 days away, I don't want to work on anything too complex, since I'll be away from work for a few days to set up the apartment with my friends. Working on the promotional work will be just dandy. Some of the work will be a part of the press kit, while some of the work is a Google survey for the beta. If you're interested in the upcoming beta, you can sign up with a link down in the description. All you need to do is supply your email so I can contact you when things are ready, and a little info on your phone. I'll supply some more installation info when the beta is actually in full swing. Alright, today's moving day. We want to see how fast we can get all this done. We still got to go to 3 houses and do our orientation. Hopefully we can get all that done before 5 p.m. Right now, I think the game plan is for me to go to my friend's house, pick him up, then go all the way over towards the city. And let's see. Go to the truck company, bring the truck all the way back to our houses, pack all our things, go back to the apartment area, do our orientation, get our keys, then drop everything off, start unloading the truck, and then go all the way back to all our houses again for a second time to go get all our computers and monitors and everything. See how fast that goes. That might be a little ridiculous. But first, I need some coffee. So, I'm gonna head on out and see how fast we can get all this done. Going back to the ambience of stores that I was describing earlier, one of the most important parts of the stores is the music. I wanted each store to have their own music and for there to be crossfading whenever you were slightly in between stores. Finding the right songs is difficult, but there's one great thing that comes out of these devlogs is that searching for the music for these videos allowed me to find Errol Faye or Artificial.Music SoundCloud. I'm happy to say that her music is going to be used for the stores, and listening to them in-game perfectly captures the mood I wanted for the game. In-game, you can find a link to her SoundCloud in settings with music titles a little scroll away. Side note, if you like the music in my devlogs, you can find the titles and links down in the description. Switching gears a bit, I have another minigame that's been put back in production, Cards and Coasters. The goal of the game is to match all the cards while managing the coasters that wind up sliding around. If there's a coaster on top, you can't flip a card, so you'll need to drag them around. Higher difficulties mean more cards to keep an eye on and more coasters. It plays nicely, but I wound up making a mismatch of random icons way back in concepting, and then I never touched it ever since. It's about time I go back to my roots and do some vector artwork of various coffee equipment. After a few days of on and off vector work, these are what I've got to show. To be honest, I wound up running out of ideas by the 10th one, so I'll just use the Mad Hat logo for now. If I'm in need of other cards and I've got some ideas again, I'll make sure to make some more later. But for now, I think this is a good bare minimum. I touched a little bit of code this week, primarily for upgrading the project to Unity 2018.1 for a few features that I was wanting here and there. I also wound up adding in a proper FPS counter to the bug reporter. It updates every 1/4 of a second, which is enough for tracking purposes. The game can do better than 60 FPS on my computer and on devices, but I wound up frame capping it anyways because of phone batteries. There's always an option in settings for having the resolution, having the FPS, and to enable screen dimming if someone wants their batteries to last longer when playing. So you may have noticed that the animation of the cars in the urban store haven't been looping nicely for about as long as I've been showing off this game. That's no longer the case now, because now it's over 45 seconds long, and to boot, the animation starts at a random time when you first go to that store. With that, I think the unique feature for that store is completed. I can come back to the animation and extend it, but for a bare minimum, that's alright. If you enjoyed the devlog, why not consider subscribing to see more of these in the future? Thank you again for tuning in for the development progress on Caffeine Cafe, and I hope you have a great week.